when he first came here, he was looking at the background here and that little galley down there. It was all forest, and it isn't anymore. So it just shows you that this tree planting exercise is so vitally important.
The Rift Valley Tree Trust has been working with 2 non-government organisations in the Molo area in Kenya to plant trees at schools. It is hoped that by encouraging young children to plant trees, they will grow up understanding what an important role trees play in the environment.
He's already said that.
The song the children were singing was all about if we cut the trees down we will have a desert, and how important it is to plant trees for the future. So that's brilliant.
I'm the coordinator of Community Food and Environment Group here in Moro, and I'm also the national chairman of the National Communities Forest Association in Kenya. And what I do here in Moro is that I try to encourage the children to be more involved in tree planting, to conserve the environment, and also to learn more about our trees that are getting extinct. And to that effect, we plant shaded trees, and we are starting to establish some arboreta, whereby we are going to plant, or we have planted the indigenous trees, which will be labeled, and from where the young people can learn about our indigenous trees, which are getting extinct by day. Therefore, that's one of the approaches we are taking at this current case.
So, what is pushing people around this area to plant more trees is after seeing the forests disappearing. So the disappearance of the forests has awakened people. We can say it is a luck in a disguise that here we were. All this land you can see Robin up to the top used to be dense forest. It disappeared. People never thought trees will never be available in this country, but now it's a harsh reality that the only way to reverse the situation is to practice what I can call farm forestry.
When we visited St. Joseph's Primary School, where the kids had done a fantastic job planting and looking after their trees, they were also keen to show off their footballing skills. The result was very predictable. Kenya 1, England 0. We blame the 7,000 foot altitude.
It's a corner. The English are a little tired of them. Passing. Passing. Oh, good save!
And you can see now this is the 3rd project we've done at this school, planting of indigenous trees. We want as the kids to grow up to be able to recognise some of their local trees, and it will give them, hopefully one day, give them brilliant shade in the playground. And we'd like to go on and do more of these indigenous plantings in school. Fantastic. All the trees that have been planted, and hopefully they'll grow up as you grow up, and one day we'll come back and we'll see them as big trees. Because if we all do a little bit, all look up after a few trees, if we all do a bit, then we don't have the problem. But where we come from, we have the same problem. We've cut down too many trees. And now we have to learn to plant more and look after it.
And that's cedar, red cedar.
Red cedar, and how big will that grow?
Oh, this will be a big, big tree, and it will be in this ground for the next 40, 50 years.
40, 50 years?
Yes. It's an indigenous tree in this country. Although this is one of the endangered tree species, and it is under the CITES list of endangered species. And in this country, you are not supposed to chop it. It's illegal. Once the government sees you with a cedar tree, then you are taken to the court straight away. No compromise on it.
When I last came here, the ground was completely parched, and James was having to bring water in by donkeys for the young trees. He's got a tree nursery here, so we helped them dig this well, which is, as we had, 96 feet deep, and so the well means they've got water all the year round to help keep the tree nursery going, and for them to use on the farm in their house.
Water throughout the year, and look at it, beautifully clean water from the bottom of that well.
One of the initial tree nurseries we helped establish, and these are cedars, are they?
This is James, who's the nursery man.
And tree tomatoes over there. These are cedars, and the well helps keep these trees alive when in the dry season. At the moment, I've never seen it so green, but when I was last here, everything was very, very brown. Okay. And James is growing a variety of indigenous trees up there to plant in the local area. After visiting James's nursery, we went to see another nursery in Molo, run by Kofi. When I last visited this nursery, Kenya was in the midst of a terrible drought. It was great to see things looking so luscious and green.
Trees grow to give us fresh air to breathe. Harvests are also expected to rise. But people should not travel when it's raining, because vehicles are being carried away by floods.
Yeah, each student, each pupil is assigned a tree to take care of. Therefore, I think that's a step in the right direction.
So when they're old, they can come back and see the tree that they have looked after. That's good. As we left Molo, we came across a group of women walking 9 kilometres home from collecting firewood in the forest. This takes a great deal of time and effort. One of the initiatives of the Rift Valley Tree Trust is trying to encourage the use of fuel-efficient stoves. These small clay stoves greatly reduce the amount of firewood needed. Wood that would have lasted 3 days will now last 6. This frees up their time and reduces the impact on the forest. Later that day, we supplied the women with some stoves.
We appreciate for their support, for all the people who have contributed in one way or another to the success of this program, and we would like more support, since the forestry projects take time before they could be appreciated by people. It's not a one-off thing like tarmacking a road and you see it nice tomorrow, you know. So we would like to continue the people, the children, the parents and the teachers and general members of the public who live around, to keep on pushing them and converting them and telling them this is the way to go if you have to reverse the environmental degradation being experienced in Kenya.